Good morning. So we heard a good presentation earlier, and I was thinking that it's a good idea, but who will implement it? How we will involve the community who are at the front line? So my presentation is about that how we can involve the community at risk to find the solution for their own problems. As we know, we have lots of policies, we have lots of laws, whether it's a national policy, international policy, but it doesn't really reflect on ground that whether we are reducing the risk. If you can see this picture, that community is living on the wrong side of the embankment, which increases their own risk. Uh, we all talk about natural major disasters, earthquake, floods, and all that. But if you look at the communities at the local level, their vulnerabilities are completely different than what we are talking even here. So they might be more worried about house collapse. They might be worried about gas cylinder explosions. They might be worried about insect biting and all that. But that is something which we are not talking, and we won't be able to understand until unless we involve the communities in finding their own solutions. So it's not more about shocks, but it's more about stresses, which then can lead to either a better resilience or a less resilience. We need to create a balanced approach where we can see that how we can take the yoga framework of action at the local level. We still have like 2-3 years remaining, and if we can propose some of the model which can be a baseline for HFA2, and then we can take that forward to reduce the risk at the community level. So we need to start with the at-risk community, and we have to involve them in order to find the solutions of the problem. Citizens are a great voice of the accountability, as we have seen in some of the Arab Springs and all that, where the community movement has led to the over like bigger changes in the countries. And this is one picture from India, wherein the villagers has resisted the National Highway Authority of India because the highway was creating flood in their villages. And because of their continuous protest, National Highway Authority had to change the layout of the road, and which led to the less risk for these communities living in these villages. So this is the power of the community. If they can come together, if they have the right kind of resources, they can really bring about the right changes in their area. Now, we have some of the critical questions. So we have institutions, policies at the national level, but we need to ensure that it percolates down to the most risk areas and to the people who are living in these places. Awareness is there, but need to create programs that encourages active citizenry. We have to ultimately create a greater accountability in development works, ensuring they do not cause disasters. Because most of the time, particularly if we talk about the developing countries, lots of time this development leads to the bigger risk in that area. One of the latest example was a factory collapse in Bangladesh. For Bangladesh, the garment workers are like in a way source of their economy, driving their economy. But if we don't build the building rightly, that can lead to larger deaths and larger problems at the local level. We also had the Asian ministerial meeting, which talks about everyday disasters, that how we can look at the stresses which is being felt by these communities at various vulnerable places, and how we can reduce their risk. So some of the key points is how we involve the stakeholders in planning, budgeting, and allocation of resources at the local level. How we contribute, how they can contribute like actively for the solutions, and how we can involve the people who are neglected. So how we can have an inclusive way of involving the people who are at the risk, whether it's disabled people, women, or children. And we also need to recognize that appropriate knowledge, information, and innovation with effective feedback and complaint mechanism can build sustainable partnerships at the local level. We did the community resilience survey in 10 countries in Asia. And one of the greatest feedback or one of the outcome of that survey is at the local level, there is no mechanism wherein the communities can give the feedback for some of the policies or the development work of the government. Now, what we are doing in India and in some of the countries in South Asia. So we are trying to build this local citizen partnership forum wherein we are identifying some of the change makers within the community, and we are forming the group at the local level, which is based on this model, which is a self-help, mutual assistance, and public assistance. And the role of civil societies and other stakeholders can be to facilitate this entire process and build the capacities of such kind of network at the local level. We need to encourage the citizen forum to be able to track increased frequency and severity of small and medium scale disasters in the urban areas. To be able to engage with local governments on issues that pose immediate risk. We also have to have a platform for information, knowledge, and exchange for this communities at the local level. And we also need to build the capacity of this forum to mobilize the local resources, because they cannot depend on the let's say government funds or any external help for doing some of the risk reduction activities which pose an imminent threat to lives of these people. This is some of the pictures which we are doing in India. This is a picture from Dharamshala, which is situated in Himalayan belt, which is very vulnerable to earthquake. And we have created this local forum involving the retired town planners and other technical people who are helping the local government to have a better land use planning in this area, as well as they are also training the local engineers how to build earthquake resistant buildings in their area. Same way, we also did one knowledge sharing South Asian local forum meeting, wherein community members from this local forum have shared what they are doing in their area, and that is being shared in some of the South Asian countries. This is also a picture wherein the local community members are sharing what they are doing for reducing the risk in their particular area. This is a picture from one of the small town in Himalayan, wherein the local youth has taken the responsibility to reduce some of the risk. And one of the key points for forming this kind of local forum is we need to see that how we can identify such kind of change agents, because in this area, this local youth platform or members of this forum has taken the responsibility, and they are doing amazing work. Like they are banning the polythene in their own town, and they are also monitoring it constantly to see the implementation of this kind of activities. So it's not only about the government, but how we can involve the local citizen in order to implement some of the key risk reduction activities. And based on our work, these are the three major things which we need to keep in mind, and we also need to see that how we can do work on this and how we can keep this at the core of the HFA2 discussion, which is ongoing and which will intensify in, let's say, coming years. So we have to work from the ground up, starting from schools and community organization in villages and towns, platforms for DRR at local and sub-national level. NGOs can take lead at the local level, state governments at sub-national level. So we need to see that where strength lies, and according to that, we can give that responsibility to various stakeholders. Find common grounds for mainstreaming, start by jointly addressing everyday disaster. So once we will build the resilience towards everyday disasters, community will also be prepared for larger shocks which they might be receiving in some of the vulnerable areas. and invest in this citizen platform by ensuring people's voices on disaster risk reduction is heard across all the sectors. And one of the key things which this local citizen platforms are doing is they are raising the issue about accountability. And in this, like last 2 days, I have heard lots about political will. Political will not come until and unless citizens are aware and they know about their right and what to do to reduce their own risk. So once we will have this local forums, they will also create a pressure for the political change in their particular area, and ultimately we will be able to see a larger change in the vulnerable places. This is local small scale efforts can have a monumental spin-off. So this is the picture in one of the slum in New Delhi, where we have been able to create this fire post with the help of the communities. Because in their slums, one of the biggest threat is fire, not the earthquake, not the flood, not the bigger natural disasters. So if we mobilize the community, if we build this kind of local national platform, they can have amazing monumental changes in their particular area. Thank you. So this is what we are doing, and we strongly believe that we have to involve this at-risk communities in order to find their own solutions, rather than seeing ourselves as like we know all the things and we are there to help them. It's more about building their strength, enhancing their own knowledge, and to see that how we can build the larger resilience at the local level, which then ultimately translate to at the state or the national level or even at the regional level. Thank you.